Everybody, it's Anna, and I just want to thank you for joining us once again here at Panic Partners. Or if this is your first time with us, I just want to welcome you, and you can very quickly catch up to speed with what we're doing here. But this is just a place where we welcome those who are suffering from anxiety and other mental illnesses to join us in a place that's welcoming, accepting, understanding from a first-hand perspective, and we're trying to heal ourselves from the inside out. For us, the goal is to wean off our medication or to manage that effectively. We don't make a judgment on that one way or the other. This is just a welcoming place to be. And so thank you for joining us. I'm really excited to tell you about something that it just kind of came to me all of a sudden. But before I do that, I just want to recap the last couple of days. Not a whole lot to report, and that's a good thing and not a bad thing. It's just how life is sometimes. There isn't always going to be a big breakthrough every day or a major setback. And, I wouldn't say I'm treading water. I'd say I'm doing better than that. Few minor little issues with my anxiety here and there. No panic attacks to speak of since the one that I had told you guys about. That was more mild than normal, and I was able to handle that really well. But the anxiety is present in my life. I've managed to work out 30 minutes a day, and I've even started to take that onto myself, in that I haven't, in the last 2 nights, used the aid of a workout video. I've actually just picked my favorite challenging exercises from a collection of videos that I've been working from on YouTube, and that is with Cassie at blogoddies.com. I really recommend her if Pilates is what you're kind of looking at for your exercise routine. That's another thing too. Everyone is different. It just so happens that Amanda and I both chose that. If your thing is running, I think that's fabulous. That runner's high that you get to, great, because I've tried it and I just feel like I'm going to die the entire time. I don't think I have it. I really don't. I've tried. Maybe swimming is your thing. I really like swimming to be my thing, but we've got about 35 feet of snow here. No, that's an exaggeration, but we have a lot of snow here in Michigan right now, as many of you do my mom lives in Texas and they got snow. So it's not even, I can't even say it's a northern states thing this year. So, whatever you enjoy, push yourself. That's what I've been doing, and I've been having a really great time doing it. I'm enjoying the burn. I never thought I'd be that girl. That's a big thing for me. So that's just kind of what's been going on. Nothing new, honestly. Sometimes you're just living, and that's okay. But what I'm really excited to talk about today is, this really just came to me as I was sitting on my couch, and I thought about expanding on my post about what anxiety takes away from you and how it takes away, more than anything, your sense of self. And I thought about, how we kind of want to live ideally, and how anxiety wants us to live. And I thought about talking about living your prime life. And when I talk about your prime, I don't mean a specific time frame in your life. I don't mean it has to be your youth or once you get to the age of wisdom, whenever that is. But prime, by definition, and I've been taking some notes. I'm a notes list kind of girl, so I've written some things down. But by definition, your prime is of the most importance, of the greatest significance, of the highest rank, the greatest value, and reaching the greatest vigor of human life. And, I just think it's so important to remind myself and ourselves that we are of the first importance. And, we are of the greatest significance, the highest rank. We need to value ourselves that way. We got one shot at this life, this time. I'm a believer in past lives, and I think we kind of learn a lot through the journeys, but this is where we're consciously at right now, and that's what we need to focus on, and to not put ourselves last, and to not think it's vain or selfish to find yourself important or important enough to invest in. And I think that's really important. So the prime of our lives is right now, every day. every day. Your prime will still be 10 years from now. And anxiety has a different idea of what your prime looks like than maybe you do, and then I think that we all should. And I'm also the type of person who really I like acronyms and I like analogies. I like metaphors. I'm a big person on words and visualizations mainly. And so I've kind of come up with a visual of what prime anxiety looks like and prime living looks like, our prime. So for me, what prime means for anxiety, the way anxiety would like you to be living your life, is punishing ourselves, relinquishing our happiness, intensifying our fears, manipulating our feelings, and exposing our shortcomings. And I know for personally, my end, that's exactly what anxiety is like. I punish myself. I feel like I must have done something to deserve this. I constantly see the negative. I relinquish my happiness because my power is gone to my anxiety. It intensifies my fears. Obviously, that's really what anxiety is. It manipulates my feelings tremendously, as well as, my emotional output to the people around me, and exposes our shortcomings. I don't want to call them weaknesses, and yes, they can be vulnerabilities, but just any place in our life that we feel maybe a little insecure about or could pertain to a secret, that's where anxiety would really like to keep us. That would be our prime. Punishment, relinquishing, intensifying, manipulating, exposing. That would be anxiety's ideal of our prime lives. And I personally am just not having it anymore, and you can feel free to join me in that. So what is prime going to mean for me, and what I hope it can mean for you living your prime life? Well, I'm going to use my daughter's Doc McStuffins dry erase board. I thought that was a cute little pun on anxiety, using the Doc's board, to hopefully give us a new way to look at the prime of our lives, starting with P. Now, just going to warn you, this is not a dry erase marker. This is a Crayola washable marker. And bought a bunch when I bought the dry erase board at Christmas time. When Santa brought us the dry erase board at Christmas time. Can't find them. Can't find any of them. I know a couple of them dried out. My daughter tried to eat one of them. Caught her on that. But hopefully you can see P is for persistence. Persistence is super important to me because anxiety is going to and has kept creeping back into my life and invading and intruding into my personal private space. And so I persistently need to keep trying to move forward, to keep trying new things, and not all of them are going to work. And that's just the honesty. The truth of it is not everything is going to work the same for everyone. Some things might not work for anyone, but we just need to keep trying. And I really personally feel that as long as you're learning, you're not losing. That's just how I feel. And we're learning new things every day. So P is for persistence. R is resilience. And maybe those are two sides of the same coin. But for me personally, resilience is different from persistence in that there's always going to be nouns that are trying to knock you over. And nouns are what? People, places, things, ideas. And for me, that means my triggers. There are people who wind my anxiety right through the roof. There are places or things I need to go and do that cause me great anxiety. There are things such as thunderstorms, don't know why, and ideas, like constantly thinking that there might be something medically wrong with me. So those nouns, might try and knock you over. The difference is with our resilience that we are going to not allow that to push us backward. And I just really want everyone to know that there's a difference between being stuck and standing your ground. Sometimes we just need to be still and to focus on dealing with this very thing right now. And even though we might not look at that as moving forward, as long as you're not allowing those things to pull you back, I still look at that as a positive and celebrate those little successes like Amanda had mentioned in her journey yesterday. So that is R for me. I is really easy for me because I can find this anywhere, and I believe you can too. Inspiration. And the thing I love about inspiration, is that you can be stuck and still find a way to be inspired. I'm not kidding you. Some days I feel like I can't get off the couch, and my way of getting inspiration is going onto Pinterest and typing in inspiration and finding quotes or beautiful pictures of places and finding ways to fill up. Persistence is trying to move forward. Resilience is not moving back. Inspiration is filling up. And it's easy. Inspiration, I cannot wait until spring and summer this year. I'm so inspired by the beauty of things growing and becoming anew. We're becoming anew as people, and I'm going to have a great garden this year. Hold me to that, everybody. I'm going to have a beautiful garden, and that's really, really going to inspire me. M, and this is for once you're filled up and ready to go, focus on your motivations. Motivations are different for everybody also. This is an individualized journey. That's why I didn't make any of these letters too specific to any individual, because we're all going to be in this together. Motivations, again, can be nouns. They don't just have to be triggers to negative things. People, places, things, and ideas. For me, absolutely people-wise, my children are my motivation. And you would say that and say, that that's just obvious, but I have been guilty of this, using my children as excuses. I'm just so busy, or I'm just so tired, and everyone needs my attention. So, I'm making a conscious effort to use them as a motivation and not as an excuse. Maybe, especially for agoraphobics, it could just be something like going on a trip, or just, it's winter outside, but maybe you're afraid to leave your home, or you're afraid to fly. Maybe your motivation is getting to put your toes in the sand. I read a story of an agoraphobic who, her motivation was getting to go to her daughter's wedding, and it was just at a church a few blocks away. So every day she made just a little bit tinier step forward, left the house, in the car, down the street, even so much as I made it to the mailbox, and eventually she was able to attend her daughter's wedding. Beautiful story. Maybe you can find motivation and inspiration in other people's stories. And last but not least, E. This is something that I typically have no problem having. Enthusiasm. And I know that cute little saying, fake it till you make it. It rhymes, so it's really nice, and I'm into rhymings and things. But it's not about being insincere. And enthusiasm, there is scientific proof that a positive mindset, positive affirmations, bright, cheerful thinking really does have an effect on not only your state of mind, but your state of being and your activity level. So just be positive. Just try, just think. Don't succumb to anxiety's prime. And I'm really excited about that. I'm hoping that we can kind of start to come up with a logo, because I am very visual, for Panic Partners, and to have this kind of be a subheading about living your prime life. And that's not in relation to age or anything like that. It's every day right now. And so that's what I'm going to be looking forward to. I'm going to be persistent, resilient, filled with inspiration, surrounded by motivation, and I'm going to ooze enthusiasm. So I hope that's something that can inspire you, perhaps, or motivate you, or simply just be relatable to you in some way, and that we can continue on this journey together and just kind of see where it takes us, because this is uncharted territory for me. This is day 9, I believe, of really sticking to this, and this is just step 1. This is just our first stage. And I've been thinking also about where I would like this journey to take myself and those who would like to join me next. And I would kind of like to start dabbling in, just really remembering that what we put into our bodies is more important than what we put on our bodies. And I like jewelry and pretty and sparkly and nice, and it's not about that. And it's just about, internalizing and what's best for us. So I think maybe next 6 weeks, we're only a weekend now, but I'm projecting to the bigger picture being positive. Maybe that'll be, some of our food and kind of what we're doing there. And I think then once we've established this more holistic way of living, maybe, or even just that it's encompassing more of each part of us, maybe step 3 will be starting to look at the root of our anxieties or our fears or PTSD, CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I just looked this up recently. Like I mentioned, agoraphobia and depression, all those things. We know a lot of it, or at least a strong part of it, is genetics. This definitely runs in my family. But I think if we can really look at where it stemmed from for us as individuals, we can really learn to manage it better. And that's not always going to be with or without medication for everybody, but just so that we can be in charge of our diagnosis or of shedding ourselves of our diagnosis. So that is going to be a really difficult 6 weeks for everybody, I know. So I think maybe we should put that off just a little bit until we get into a really healthy pattern of this type of behavior that we're working on right now, so that it's not too much too soon, or so that we don't fault ourselves or falter in our work, because we're working on ourselves. And I think it's great, and I'm very proud of everyone and the work that you're doing, the work that I'm doing. I'm very proud of my panic partner, Amanda. Shout out to Amanda. She's doing great too. And I just, again, thank you. I'm so thankful that we're doing this together, because it did not work on my own. So I appreciate each and every one of you. And still kind of quiet sounding in my house, I might sneak in a workout while my children are napping. Have a great day, everybody.